Hi, I'm Paul, and in this video I'm going to show you how to replace the 2-inch low-profile wand tilter or cord tilter on an EverWood blind. So first what I'll want to do is remove the head rail end caps on both sides, and these simply I can rock these right off, and I want to remove that side as well. And now I want to take the tilt rod shaft and I'm just going to gently slide this right out. Next, what I want to do is I want to remove and set aside both of the tassels for the cord tilt. So I can simply undo that knot. I'm going to reuse this cord, so I don't want to shorten the cord at all by cutting the knot. And the tassel and the washer will come right out. And I'll repeat that process for the other. Now I can separate this head rail slightly, which is going to allow me just to simply rock this out from the back here and pull this right out. I have the tilter plug right here on the front, and you can see right here there's a little tab that I'm just going to pinch that in a little bit, and that's going to allow me to remove this plug. I'm going to use a screwdriver just to get under here so I can start to pry that. And then I can pinch those tabs, and that allows me to take this spool right out. So I'll just quickly remove the old cord here. There's a knot right here in the middle. I may want to go ahead and use a heat source to get rid of some of these frays here. So now we're ready to insert our tilt cord into the spool. And if we look here, we can see that there are 2 channels and there are 2 holes in that spool. So I can go ahead and just feed this cord right through the middle, and then from the inside diameter I'm going to feed this cord out through the hole and pull it all the way until I seat it that knot. Then I'll take the other end and simply do the same thing. Now what I want to do is wrap this cord through these channels, the back channel and the front channel, but through this back channel here we're going to wrap each of these cords 6 times in the opposite direction. And we'll go ahead and get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 6. Now I might hold that in place here in the back just so the cord doesn't jump out of that channel. And then I'll come the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, making sure the cord doesn't twist. 6. So now we have 6 wraps of cord. And what I like to do is to pinch both of my fingers on either side just to prevent this cord from kind of wanting to jump out of here. I need to control the cord a little bit at this point. So before I go ahead and insert the spool into the tilt assembly, I'm just going to look at the side here and make sure that the drive here for the tilt rod is in the 6 o'clock neutral position. So if I need to turn that at all, I can just come up here and turn this a little bit and get that right at 6 o'clock. So what I'm looking at here is I have the front cord coming off the front of the spool and the back cord coming off the back of the spool. So I want to keep that in mind. I'm going to start with the back cord, and I'm going to bring it behind the front cord and feed it into the back channel. And I really need to make sure I don't loop the cord around itself. Then I'm going to come to the front cord and do the same thing. I'm right out here in the front. With the end of the cord, I'm going to feed that into that front channel of the tilter assembly and go ahead and pull through. I'm going to go ahead and bring the spool to the spool assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and start to bring this in, and as I'm bringing it in, I'm just going to pull gently on the cord just to get any of the slack out of the way. And I'll keep pulling and keep pushing that down until I hear it snap into place. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the plug, so I can go ahead and just simply push that in and snap it down, and it seats right into place. So now we're ready to bring our cord tilt assembly back into my head rail. And I'll start by taking my two cords and feeding them through that route. I'll feed them right through the route. I'll go ahead and pull this in. And what I'm going to look for is this raised area on the bottom of the tilt assembly, making sure that it's seating squarely into this route punch. So I'll bring this in, I'll kind of tilt it into the front, pulling away any extra cord, and go ahead and seat that in there. I can almost feel it fall right into place, and I can see down here that it's nice and squared up, and I can simply just snap that into place. Now, let's take a look at what I might need to do if instead of the cord tilt assembly, I am going to use a wand tilt assembly. Pull this back out really quick. So I'll go ahead and bring my wand tilt control to the head rail, putting the stem through that route, and I'm going to push down on the front, making sure that this front edge of the tilt control gets underneath that lip of the head rail. Now I'm going to look down here at the bottom and start to move this around. Similarly, I want to make sure that this is getting squared into that route right here, this rectangle punch. So that's replacing the wand tilt control, but let's quickly jump back to that cord tilt as we finish this off. The next step I'll need to do is to bring the tilt rod shaft back into the tilt mechanism. So I'm going to go ahead and get that lined into place. It only goes in one direction, and if it's not feeding in that smoothly, something's maybe a little bit out of alignment here. So I can slide that in, and now I will replace the head rail end caps on both sides of the head rail. My last step then is to bring in my tassels, and don't forget the washers as well. And I'll simply just feed those on to each end of the cord. I'll add my washer. And then just a simple double over knot. So I'll go under, over and through, and then over and through once more. And then I'm going to tighten up that knot. And as it begins to tighten, I'll just go ahead and slide the knot down the cord to leave me with just a small bit of extra cord here below the knot, maybe a 1/4 inch or so. Then I'll repeat that process. And my last step then would be to hang the shade and to check the tilt operation, making sure that the tilt cord pulls fully in both directions by pulling both cords and tilting the slats fully closed in both directions. And I just showed you how to replace the 2-inch low profile wand tilt or the cord tilt on an EverWood blind.